I have to ask you, Jim, doesn't there come a point where you say, look, the island's growing, people need more places to put homes?
Yep.
I mean, do you actually have any control in that? Do you say, okay, no, we don't want this because we need to build it out?
We actually got together with our counterparts at the Land Council, the Land Bank Commission, the Sconset Trust several years ago and developed a strategic plan. And we knew that we wanted to stay away from properties that were prime for residential development, for workforce housing, for seasonal housing. We're not in the business of trying to compete with the development interests. And so we created a plan that gave us...
Take a right,
yeah,
okay.
Sure. That gave us an opportunity to look at the properties that were most in need of protection that would benefit the community the most. Because our goal is to protect lands that people have long taken for granted are open to the public, and then suddenly find out that a developer has acquired the property and puts the no trespassing signs up, and the opportunity to protect that property is gone forever. But after having put this plan together, and it now goes back probably 11 years, 12 years, we had major targets that included the Loring property out on Eel Point Road that we assigned to the Land Council as their project. The Head of the Plains, the FAA tower site, which was just protected by the Land Council, by the Land Bank Commission. That's 100 acres that was in the midst of a huge area of protected land out there. That was assigned to the Land Bank Commission. Likewise, the Loran Station, which is still uncertain in Sconset. That's a project.
Go that way?
We can go off to the right here.
Okay. To this way or that way?
Right.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you though.
But the point is that the UMass Field Station was our project. The Norwood Farm was our project. Okay. That's really it.
That's it?
Yeah. Now, I know that
so what does that mean?
That means we're in the management business.
That's it now.
And
do you need as much money as you've always needed?
Absolutely, because taking care of the property just starts when.
But I mean, buying a property is a lot more expensive than maintaining. I mean, initially, but you got to do both. But now that you've stopped buying, you can just manage, and then that.
Well, now that we've stopped buying, we can figure out how we're going to raise the money to pay off what we owe.
Are you allowed to sell any of the properties that you own? Could you do that?
No, not for development purposes.
There's no chance that anything here is ever going to get developed.
No.
And I really want you to talk about the benefit, in your view, what the benefit to a local economy is by maintaining open space.
Most of our seasonal residents have been attracted to the openness of Nantucket, the freedom of walking areas like this, wandering the beaches. When you go to Cotuh and Cascada and sit on the beach out there or on the South Shore, the experience is just incredible, and people are willing to pay big dollars to come and enjoy that. No, it's the quality, the character of the landscape. To think that there are thousands of acres on Nantucket that people can come out, and here's an example. This is the backside. People on Nantucket know this is the Serengeti when they're looking at it from the Milestone Road. Well, we're back about 1.5 miles in from the Milestone Road, and this area here has been managed now for about 15 years as a destination for the northern harrier, a rare bird that occurs on Nantucket that nests here on the island and then forages, and it needs openness, and that was what this area was created to do. And so periodically it's mowed or burned off in order to keep the habitat, this unique habitat, alive.
Now, when people come out here, what can they do?
For the visitor to our properties, we've got brochures for most of these areas that describe the features that are on those properties. In many cases, we have interpretive trails. We got a couple
look at those
big crows there, probably looking for their midday lunch.
They're
here.
amazing.
People fish the ponds that have fish. Will be used by local fishermen.
Do we stock those at all?
No. The state used to take and stock, I believe, a couple of the ponds on the island, but they've given up on that just because of the cost of doing it and the remoteness of places like Nantucket. But part of the management is taking care of these roads. taking care of the edges, creating these fire breaks so that, as we recently had,
exactly.
It was a pretty scary situation. All of a sudden,
how did that happen?
Oh, somebody was careless about burning on their property,
okay.
Which happened to abut foundation property. So,
oh my goodness,
over the line it went, and off it went. About 35 acres.
All right,
got burned up.
How closely do you work with the land bank?
We're exchanging ideas all the time.
And for those people who don't understand what the land bank does,
land bank is a county level organization here on Nantucket. It was established about 30 years ago, and it collects a 2% transfer tax on all real estate transactions. That money goes into a fund that elected officials, 5 elected members of the Land Bank Commission, are responsible for the use of in purchasing property and managing property. Their mission is a little bit different than the foundations in that we're in the open space management business. What you see is what you get on our properties. We're not about ball fields and recreational sites. We're about open lands, and that was the mission statement that was established 53 years ago. But the Land Council, the Land Bank Commission, the Sconset Trust, and several other organizations we're cooperating with on a regular basis. What we do is we have meetings at least on a quarterly basis with staff to make sure that we're not stepping on each other's toes. We don't want to be competing with other organizations. So we know there's only so many dollars to go around on the island. When you expand the land acquisition, or when you take the land acquisition to its next step, we're working with scientists that are on our staff. We have 4 full-time scientists. We also have a number of seasonal interns that come to the island and contribute to the effort to understand better what's out here, because there are many rare species that need particular, and we're going to be coming through an area here shortly where there's a plant that is very rare in the United States that grows here, and it needs special treatment. So the scientists give us a sense of what do we have to do with it, and then they monitor it as time goes on.
All right. Hey, how do you keep yourself out of, you kind of keep a nice, quiet, got a good reputation. A lot of these other guys there's lots of controversy going on, stirred up.
No, we try.
Why is it that you're so...
We have plenty of work to keep us busy, and that keeps us close to the foundation's business on a daily basis. We don't like to get involved with local politics.
Yeah.
It's a member-supported organization,
right.
So we don't get any financial assistance from any public agencies. We cooperate.
Doesn't that make a difference? I don't either, That's why I can do whatever I want. I kind of like it that way.
Well, it isn't so much that way, but we know that their plate is full, as is ours, and try and keep the town-gown relationship straight so that we're not interfering in their business and they're not interfering in our business. But we try very hard to work together so that we're collaborating with the town agencies on many projects on many fronts. So here's the area that I mentioned earlier. This is a plant, the low-growing plant on either side of the road underneath the bayberry, which hasn't leafed out yet, and the pitch pines. But where the stakes are, and you can see on the right-hand side of the road here, this is
tiny little...
these guys are called broom crowberry, or Corima conradii. Well, they actually belong on mountaintops up in alpine areas, but somehow, probably by way of the glaciers that affected this area 15,000 years ago,